All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see y'all. Oh, I forgot to hit the go live button on Rockfin, but I just hit it. So we should be live on Rockfin now. Forgot to hit the little button there. Thanks for hanging out on Rockfin, guys. I see y'all, people watching on Rockfin. Sorry, I forgot to hit the button. That's why I just showed up. All right. Well, again, we're going to do like chat interaction at the end of the show. So, because there's just a lot to cover, or more chat interaction more towards the end of the show. Thank you to the Patreon subscribers. Thank you to everybody who contributes to the show. If you want to contribute to the show, the best ways are at the links in the description box. All kinds of ways in there. You can do a reoccurring donation on Patreon or on Buy Me a Coffee or on PayPal, or you pretty much do a reoccurring donation on any of the platforms. Or you could just drop $1, $2, $5, or whatever. If you're feeling moved to do so. Right. So I didn't forget about Brain Fallout, the show. I just feel like I noticed when I was doing the Brain Fallout shows that people wouldn't show up because I don't know, because I talk about the same things pretty much on every show. I guess maybe they didn't show up because they knew I wasn't going to talk about like climate related issues or whatever, but I don't know. Anyways, I haven't I might do a Brain Fallout show soon. It's kind of, I decided to not worry about offending people because people are going to be offended. So I'm just going to say what I got to say. See what I got to say, and just remember that we have more alike in each other than we do differences. Please try to refrain from arguing with people or going off on people in the chats. Please, there's no moderators here, so just if you could just be cool. If somebody says something that really pisses you off, or if you really feel like you're ramping up there, just take a break. And you don't have to chat, and you don't have to prove that you're right. It's all good. We're all friends here. It's all community. Same goes for Telegram. Telegram is a place where people can send me stuff or chat with. You guys can chat 24/7. t.me/Black Bear News chat. Go there. There's a link there in the description box if you want to go there and chat with people or whatever. Anyways, my God, so much to cover. I'll start with this crazy. If you remember I think it was a typhoon in China, and they had lots of videos coming out with high winds that were blowing through apartment complexes there. And this is just a really wild video of that occurrence I wanted to play. But this is kind of an indication that everybody everywhere in almost every situation will be affected by extreme weather events. I'm sorry to the HARP, the true HARP believers. It's not all HARP. Okay. Yes, HARP is a thing. Yes, HARP could probably do something in a particular situation, but no, the entire planet suffering from extreme weather events 24/7, all the time, nonstop, is a product of our contamination of the planet, our constant contamination of the planet. And I want to talk a little more about that just for a second. But anyways, I want to show you this, which is freaking wild and scary. If I can, come on, please work for me. Are you not going to work for me? Let's see if they'll. There we go. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. There's actually audio to this, but I don't think you're going to be able to hear the audio. This is insane, though. And it goes on and on. Anyways, Just wild footage of this event that happened in China. This is about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now. I think this is from September. Oops. Hello. Going back here. That was in China. And for the people that are just like, no, climate change is all geoengineering and it's the sun and I don't believe in it. It's all fake and whatever. And it's a lie. Just, just take a step back and consider, just instead of, being a reactionary, like reacting. Oh, I don't believe that. Just take a step back and just consider that maybe a few things could be happening at the same time. And also consider this, which is actually the truth. It's not that climate change is the conspiracy theory around climate change is not that it's not real. The conspiracy theory is it's way worse than they're letting us know. It's, the trajectory that they tell you that climate change is taking is actually, bringing catastrophe to us at a much quicker timeline than they're willing to admit. They don't want to tell you that. They want to keep business as usual going on for as long as possible so they can keep on making that money, making that dollar bill. Right? And that's the conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory is, this is correct, true and correct, is that the biosphere of the planet is unraveling at a much faster pace than they're willing to let you admit, or that they were willing to admit. They don't want to let you know that. And wrapped up, how everything is really complicated to understand these days, right? Because there's all these moving parts, and this is true, right? Nothing is black and white. Nothing is cut and dry. Nothing is, simple and easy to understand, right? There's all these conflicting. Part of the not letting you know how bad it is allowing for a lot of skepticism around climate change to continue to go, to be the prevalent, the main viewpoint of a lot of people. No, I don't know. It's totally right. So it's this big ideological battle between like the people that believe in climate change are Democrats, liberal, believe in the planet, and we believe in this is the typical standard argument. And the right wing or libertarians or freedom people or truthers or whatever. No, it's totally fake and it's just a control mechanism. Well, all those things are all mixed up together, and parts of those are true, right? Parts of it is true, parts of it is false, or are false. But if you are, awake to, and here's the last thing I'll just say about climate change in general, because I think it is about all I'm going to say about climate change. It might be a little more. And this is tied directly to overshoot, not necessarily overpopulation, but over extraction of resources, and then the spitting out of the waste product into the plant, into the atmosphere, into the ocean, onto the land. Right. The digging up, the repurposing of all these minerals, materials, resources, putting together into products, having them ready for you to consume, and then having all the waste product from all that extraction and production and shipping and consumption, right? And once you're done consuming it, where does it go? Somewhere else. You don't have to look at it. Right? All the sum total of all of that pollution basically is that you destroy the planet. Right? Does that make sense? That's climate change. Okay. So you don't have to, they've got you thinking that climate change is like CO2 makes the earth hotter, and you're like, bullshit. Consider it from a different angle. Consider it from the angle of consider it from, here's an overshoot example, and this is why. This is just to help people understand. Like there's a lot of, part of the argument about climate change not being real is that they think the Earth is overpopulated. Silliness. Humans can do, we can hold trillions of people, whatever. Some ridiculous arguments. Well, if you have a cat or a dog, is that cat or dog spayed or neutered? Most people would probably say, yeah. Why? The answer would probably be because I don't want a million cats running around my neighborhood. I don't want a million cats running around my house. I have to give them away. I have to get rid of them. I certainly can't take care of them all. You could probably apply that to kids too. Do you have kids? Why do you only have one or two? Why don't you have 10? Well, shoot. And there's some people that are like, 10 kids is great, whatever. Okay, fine. The thing is at some point there's a breaking point. At some point there's a point at which I cannot feed and take care of all these dogs or cats, if we're talking about dogs and cats. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's an excess of, you don't have the resources. The resources are gone. You don't have the time, or you don't have the money to feed them all. Or you don't have the space to hold them all. That's called a boundary. That's called a limit to the growth of your cats or your dogs in your house. That's called a limit to growth. A limit to the growth of how many cats you can have in your, right? Does that make sense? Are you following along? Well, you decide, well, I can't have any more cats. I can't, I can't have any more cats in my house. I've got to get rid of all these cats, or I've got to neuter my cat. So I can't have any, okay. Well, it sounds like you hate cats then, doesn't it? Because that's the argument. That's the argument. Well, if you want to limit, human activity on the planet, or if you think there's too many humans, or if you think they just, people should not have babies anymore, or slow the amount of babies they have down, then you're like, oh, you hate humans. You're anti-human or something. Like, no, dude. It's just that, last explanation on this, nature has always had a way of limiting the growth of humans, right? It was called famine, drought, disease, plague, just plain old weather. That's it. That was it. That was the way nature controlled, the amount of humans in a particular area that could use a certain amount of resources. And hey, guess what? This happens with animals too, because there are boundaries to the amount of animals that can live in a certain area before they eat everything in their path. And once they've done eating everything in their path, well, what happens? They all die. There ain't nothing left to eat. Duh. Is that a pretty simple explanation? Okay, so humans, that used to happen to humans too for thousands of years, right? Think, thousands of years. Think back through history. What happened with humans? They reached a certain, this happened over and over and over again. That humans would bump up to the level of, the boundary of resources, and they would die back. Or, just nature had a way of like, well, hey, this year there's just not going to be enough rain, or for 10 years, so not going to be enough rain. Humans die back, and they come back, a couple 10 years later, whatever. Well, in the last 100 years, we have had a huge evolution in technology, right? And by our technological prowess, we have been able to thwart those forces of nature, which held us back, down to whatever, 1 billion people or 500 billion people or 500 million. Right? We have thwarted those forces of nature that would hold us back from, boom. And what happened in the last 100 years? Technological explosion, boom. Human explosion, boom. We have circumvented, gone around, thwarted, suppressed the forces of nature which have formerly held humans back from procreating, to their heart's desire. Eventually, we're going to hit another boundary, which is that there can only be so much resource extraction and pollution in an area, and we'll call this area the planet. Now the area is everywhere. The area is everywhere. There's only so much pollution and resource extraction that you can, whack the planet with before the planet gets angry, before the planet goes, you know what? Can't help you anymore. Can't help you out anymore. Humans can't help you. You're at the end of the resource train. You're at the end of you can pollute nonstop to your heart's desire and destroy everything in your path. You're at the end. And we're going to find out in a very, not a very pretty way that we have reached that end, and I'm not saying it's going to be next year or even in the next decade, although I'm putting money, not real money, theoretical money. I'm putting money on the reality that in the next 10 or 20 years, nothing is going to look like anything that we see now. Nothing we know is going to be, nothing of normality will remain in the next 10 or 20 years. Will we still be here? Probably. We'll probably still be here. Some of us. And you can, until that time, until that point, you can believe whatever you want to believe about, HARP or geoengineering or humans or overpopulation or Bill Gates or what. You can believe whatever you want to believe about all that stuff. Have a good old time with it. The reality is, physics physics and nature just don't care about what you think about it. That's the end of that. They don't care about what you think about it. And maybe we'll get some alien intervention. I don't know. Somebody, did I see somewhere that we're going to get an alien intervention? I think I did. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the alien intervention. Where is it? Somewhere in here, alien intervention. I've already talked to. I've already just taken up way too much space with ranting and. Oh, I wanted to tell you too, guys. I think I don't know where I went. Oh well. Saw somewhere that aliens were going to come and help us survive. I was like, great. Awesome. Can't wait. Last point on this. So all those years of thwarting the natural mechanisms for, kind of tamping down on the population of humans, right? Famine, drought, whatever it might be. All the, decades of circumventing that are all going to come back with a quickness, right? It's all it's all being, it's all being ledgered somewhere. Yeah, you guys you guys went around this and you went around this. You guys are very smart. You humans are very smart, but sorry to tell you. So it's not really about Bill Gates or the elites don't care about you and the elites hate you and they don't care if you die. Yeah, of course. You're just cannon fodder or experimental, trial experiment fodder or, vaccine fodder or bad food fodder. You're just fodder. But they don't, hate you to the point that they're going to kill you all. They don't need to do that. In fact, they don't want to do that. That's actually a retarded, ridiculous argument anyways. It's just it doesn't subscribe to the physics of economics or the economy. So, I mean, I guess, they need people to consume things. This entire economy is built on the idea that people consume things and also that they steal your labor, right? So they need to steal your labor, your energy, and they need you to pay them for it by consuming things, to buying the things that they sell you, right? it's an awesome business idea. We're going to steal your energy. We're going to take your energy and give you pennies for it. And then with those pennies, you can buy the stuff from us. We can buy the stuff that you need to survive. It's like it's the company store. The whole planet is the company store. Is literally the company store. So they don't want to kill you all off, because then they won't have any customers, and then nothing is going to work anymore. Everything's going to collapse. The economy will collapse, and everything will collapse if that happens, and nobody will be around to run the nuclear plant. So that's a dumb idea. It's just a dumb idea that you think that that's actually going to happen. It's an ignoramus thing to think. So stop thinking that, please. But what do I know? All right. Another news. Where to begin? By the way, I don't know if I'm going to get off of YouTube today, because we're going to talk about something that is. I'm going to see if I can find a way to talk about it without. We're going to talk about something that is very taboo, especially on mainstream platforms where they really don't want people talking about this kind of stuff. So I don't know if I want to talk about it on YouTube. I'm not sure, but by the way, I've had 2 of my videos blocked on YouTube this week for copyright. It's ridiculous. They're trying to find everything that they can to mess with me and mess with my channel, and this is another way. They also make me sign in all the time to YouTube. I'm like, it's me. I'm been signed, I didn't sign out. I'm here. But I'll just try to go to YouTube to go do something on YouTube, or make a post or something, and they're like, is it you? Is it really you? I'm like, come on, man. Come on, idiots. But they're making me sign in all the time, which is a way to just mess with me. And they blocked a couple of my videos, and I'm sure they're not very. Yes, that is correct, Judy. That is correct. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get there, though. Where do we start? Well, let's start here. We already know this election is literally the outcome is not going to be. I don't know. I don't think the outcome is going to be any different either way if either team wins. It's really not going to be much different either way you go. There'll be small differences here or there, but mainly everything will go forward as is, as planned, right? So relax is all I'm trying to say. If you're really worked up about Trump losing or winning, or Kamala losing or winning, just relax. Just know that you're not really in control. It's kind of like a thing where you being worked up about it or being scared about it, or it's not going to change the outcome or change. It's probably not going to change, how things go in the near future. If you want to do something about it, if you want to do something about it, there are other things to do than get worked up about either side winning or losing. Educating people about what's really going on, and maybe supporting ranked choice voting or third parties or local elections, or getting involved in certain getting changes on policy platforms here and there. But if you're really like if you're like, oh my god, just Trump, it's always going to be fascism, the whole world's going to end, and it's going to be, or Kamala, the whole world's going to end, just it's not worth getting worked up about. It's not worth losing friends over. It's just not worth getting super. But they are really they are really like pushing a thing where it's like one side is team evil and the other side is team good, and good and godly. It really is that. So it's easy to get wrapped up in that, and like one side is like carrying the torch of moral high ground, and we're closer to God than the other side, and the other side is really close to the devil, and you really can't have the devil, and they're both the devil. So yeah, and we're here to just kind of hang out and be at the mercy of the devil for the moment until we figure out another way to fight it back. Anyways, both sides of the devil. Think of it that way. If that helps. If that doesn't help, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. But relax about it. It's not going to matter. In the end, it's just really not going to matter. There are other things to put your energy into, right? I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'll do what I do what I can. I'm just not gonna. I'm not even gonna engage in the whole like whatever in the emotional turmoil of it. I just can't do it. I'm going to disengage. There's an excess of billionaires, or an excess of billionaires is destabilizing everything. Well, yeah, there's a huge wealth gap. That's exactly right, Bella. That's exactly right. By the way, I have a new song up on YouTube, or a performance of a song up on YouTube. If you want to go check it out on my music channel, it's Kevin Sandbloom. Just search Kevin Sandbloom on YouTube. You can find it and watch it. All right. Huge wealth gap, excess of billionaires, and they control both sides. Why can't I? Sorry, I'm having an issue. Here we go. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Just, we're going to get just an idea of it. Politicians have always courted the wealthy, but Elon Musk and company represent a new kind of donor and unprecedented danger to democracy. Well, yeah, like the Trump campaign is famously backed by, JD Vance is backed by Peter Thiel. Elon Musk is, throwing his weight behind. Thanks, Bella. I appreciate that. Thank you. He's thrown his weight behind the Trump campaign, right? And there's, heavy tech hitters. And of course, heavy APAC hitters, behind Trump. They're also behind Kamala as well. That's why there's really no difference, Well, what did Larry Fink say? Did I show you all that post? Larry Fink said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wins. We win in the end. That's literally what he said. It doesn't matter who wins. We win in the end. Wow. And that's true. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. He's correct. Until we identify the actual enemy, until we identify the actual villain of the story, and find ways to thwart that villain or take power from them or circumvent them. Until we do that, we're just going to be at the mercy of these people. The concept of elite overproduction. Oh, anyways, Elon Musk. Anyway, concept of elite overproduction was developed by social scientist Peter Turchin around the turn of the century to describe something specific. Too many rich people for not enough rich person jobs. It's a byproduct of inequality. A ton of poor people, sure, but also superfluity of wealth without enough positions to house them in the influence and status to which they think themselves entitled. In a modern context, that would mean senior positions in the government and civil service, along with top tier of finance and law. But Turchin tested the hypothesis from ancient Rome to 19th century Britain. The names and nature of the contested jobs and titles changed. The pattern remained. Turchin predicted in 2010 that by the 2020s it would be destabilizing U.S. politics. Well, come on now. Pre 2010 it was destabilizing U.S. politics. So it already is, and has been. In the UK in recent years, the phrase has been repurposed in the wildest ways. Sorry. In the wildest ways to mean an excess of people at university creates unwanted activism. Or unwanted activism. Or in The Economist, paraphrasing again, landslides create too many mediocre backbench MPs who can't hope for preferment, so make trouble instead. And while the second proposition might be true, the first is basic anti-intellectualism for sure. It's actually what you want is, people smart enough and with enough time and energy on their hands to actually push for change, activism, right? To make some change. It's why after the protest movement of the 60s, 50s, and 60s and into the 70s, where they basically killed the protest movement in many ways, right? One by infiltrating and undermining the movements themselves, but also making universities suddenly like very expensive, and that was the start of the trajectory of the student loans. People getting trapped in student loans, and then you couldn't bankrupt yourself out of the student loans. You had to pay those off forever and ever. Right? That was the end of like the free or very cheap college era, where you could go get a degree. And you can go almost anywhere in the country. It used to be you could go to school almost anywhere in the country for almost free or almost free, or very little money, and get a higher education. But then there were, too many college kids that were like knew too much and had too much information, and they were out in the streets going, "Hey, this sucks. We see you. We see what's happening. We know what's happening, and we have time on our hands to go out and get active and push back against the government." And they were like, "No, can't have that anymore. What we want is debt slaves. If you go to college and you get a higher education, we want to make sure that you are tied to the motherfucking wheel forever and ever, that you don't have time. You're going to have to go get a job right away and start paying back these student loans, because if you don't, it's going to be curtains for you. Curtains, see? So, get it? Does that make sense? All right. And if you're a good little, worker bot, if you're a good little earner and you go to, you get your job, or you get your higher degree, and you make all the money and you pay back your student loans, well, that's great. That means you're busy, you're just being a busy bee, and you're not pushing any, you're not making any waves or muckraking or pushing pushing the envelope. This is taking way too long. I've got so much more to cover. Anyways, Elite overproduction in its true sense is hitting global politics square in the jaw. Elon Musk has inserted himself into the U.S. election by means long term and short, above board and below it. His impact on X, Twitter, since he bought it, was mired for a while in comical cack-handedness, but over the past few months, I've seen two words that I've never seen before in this article. Anyways, cack-handedness, but over the few, they mean backhanded, or do they mean cack-handed? I think they meant backhanded. Over the past few months, the real purpose has crystallized. Paid for verification, removed any faith in trusted sources. It couldn't be bought. Right. Republican accounts flourish, Democratic ones languish. Well, I don't know about that. Musk himself has amplified lies and conspiracy theories. Maybe a little bit. Maybe that is true on some levels. I don't know yet. I meant the Republican accounts flourishing, Democratic ones languishing. Maybe that's true. He's amplified lies and conspiracy theories. Well, or some of the things he's amplified have been absolutely true. Blah blah blah. So he's a big Trump supporter, and we know this, and they're telling you why this is bad, but they're probably not going to point to the real supervillains of the story, right? I mean, Musk is just the face of villainy that is easy to point to at the moment. And not only that, it's just this is the point that is, the point to get real sad about, is that it doesn't matter whether Kamala or Trump wins. The continued exploitation of people and the planet for profit, and having less and less, giving people less for their energy or their labor, is going to continue. Less regulation of how badly we destroy the planet. The pace at which we destroy the planet is going to increase, not decrease, right? All the climate change platitudes aside, the pace at which we destroy the planet is going to increase, because that's the way the people, the capitalists, that's what they want. They want more capital. I think I saw another thing in passing about I don't know, it was another economic tie-in with it, hedge funds and investment bankers getting involved in all kinds of things, buying into all kinds of I think they were saying that they were buying into, all kinds of public services, right? Healthcare, public service, right? And basically saying that all of these things are going to, the quality of care, the quality of service is going to go down, and you're going to get less for your dollar, your tax dollar. You're going to pay, in the end, you're going to pay more tax dollars, not in actual tax dollars, or either or, but you're going to pay for right. Like we talked about Medicare yesterday. You're going to pay more for Medicare. You're going to pay more for, at the gas pump. You're going to pay more at the grocery store. Inflation is the hidden tax. So everybody has been paying a huge tax over the last couple of years, because inflation has just gone crazy. So it doesn't, whatever you're paying in taxes, coming out of your your paycheck, probably pale in comparison to the taxes you've been paying at the grocery store every week. Anyways, moving on, the last Republican to, I know I'm probably going to go a little over time today, even though I don't have time to go over time, but we'll see. I want to cover a bunch of things, and I want to give them a little bit of time, but a little bit is going to end up being minimal. The last Republican to destroy the earth faster than Democrats was H.W. Bush. Well, here you go. This was in response to Jim Bendell. Like, he wrote this kind of long Twitter post about, like, let me suggest things to the Democrats so that they don't fail so badly. And I was like, you know that they're not really listening and they don't care because that's not the point. The point is to move ever more into a corporatocracy. And both sides are going to help each other do that. They're not interested in winning and actually changing things. They're not open to suggestion, which is what I said to them. They're not here. There isn't a suggestion box at the Democratic Party that is open to anything you have to say. Even though everything he had to say was, spot on, all good, but it's like saying, I don't know. Telling a psychopath ways in which they can improve their behavior so that they can have better outcomes in life. They're not interested in that. They're interested in the outcomes, in the worst outcomes. Whatever. I am going to get to the chat interaction soon, guys. I promise. There's a lot I want to talk to you guys about, but anyways, look at this graph. Look at that. That's true. This is true. I'm surprised by the George W. Bush bar. He had the lowest amount of domestic oil production. I think probably because we were busy stealing oil from everywhere else in the Middle East during his presidential administration. So maybe we didn't need domestic oil production. Maybe that was part of the deal. I don't know. But it has gone up since George W. Bush. Obama famously, and we're going to be oil energy independent. And then Trump took it way up. And then Biden topped even that. So, spare me with the whole, well, I'm voting for Kamala because climate change and Trump is he is a climate change hoaxer and anti-science. Okay, spare me that. Spare me that. Spare me that. I won't say it again. Climate change isn't even a reason to vote for Kamala. So just stop it. Stop it. Okay. Just stop it. Okay. Okay. We're getting into dangerous territory here, guys. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I can. Can I quit YouTube? I don't know if I should quit YouTube. Anyways, I'll try and be. Oh God, this is a harsh thing, but you guys know what panda eyes are. Man, I really want to get off YouTube. I do. Let's see. Yeah, panda eyes. It came out of the. Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if I can even get into this. Now that I'm starting to talk about this. I don't know how to get off of YouTube. All right, we're just gonna go for it. Probably YouTube is gonna really screw. I think we can just go Rumble only. Can we get Rumble only? But I don't want to leave Rockfin. That's my problem. We'll just try this, and I probably YouTube will screw with me. Panda Eyes is from Pizzagate. Well, the not from Pizzagate. It is the acknowledgement. Oh, really? Wow, that sucks. It is the acknowledgement of this reality. So basically, somebody who's suffered sexual abuse, SA, develops these dark eyes, and this is a sign of SA. And it's called panda eyes. And so Halloween last night, hold on one second. Last night on Halloween, Joe Biden walks out and Jill Biden is wearing a panda suit. And people are like, holy freaking, like, it's too obvious, right? It's just too obvious. For people that know, a lot of people out there are going to be like, she just loves pandas. Okay. Just that's nighty night. Go back to sleep. That's fine. No, this isn't obvious. It isn't. Anyways, to the point that Nicole Shanahan called it out at a she's in support of Trump. Okay, whatever. I don't know. This is not a pro-Trump thing at all. This is just Nicole Shanahan calling it out publicly about the panda eyes. Hold on one second. Well, let's first of all, can we see the can we see it? Can we see the video? Here's the video of Joe Biden walking out with Jill Biden. Jill Biden dressed up as a giant panda for Halloween last night. This is very disturbing, especially given the facts surrounding what panda eyes mean. To throw more disgust on the situation, Joe Biden literally nibbled on a few babies. Obviously people are going to be like, oh, he's just being cute with the kids. But we already know the whole history with Joe Biden and the touching. Okay. And if you want to, there's a point at which the disregard for the safety of kids to just jump to excusing some behavior. This is not the behavior I'm trying to excuse, right? But all those videos of Joe Biden, like, confirmation hearings, like touching kids in very weird kind of ways, like, come on now. After so many times, after seeing so many clips of that and so many instances where he's doing that, you can't go like, he's just a kindly old man, he's just copping a feel, that's what they do. And like, come on, man, stop it. Stop that. That's gross. That's freaking gross. But here's Jill Biden walking out in a panda. What? This is so weird. Okay. I'm not going to play any more of that. It is a weird choice, don't you think? Panda? The pandas? Panda suit. Don't you think that's a weird choice? It's just, I don't know. It's weird. But this is, hold on. So this is Nicole Shanahan, like, acknowledging this on stage. And it's, I don't care what, whatever you think of Nicole Shanahan or what do you think of Trump, and I'm not a, oh God, I don't even really want to
suit yesterday, right in front of our eyes.
I don't want to see this part. I don't really want to play this part or show this part. Sorry. I just want to show Nicole Shanahan. I don't want to show that other part. Anyway, she's going to talk about it.
What the hell? Guys, the parading of Jill Biden in a panda suit yesterday, right in front of our eyes. What the hell is this mockery? No more. No more. No more.
Okay. And that's pretty significant. And it's going to be a lot of this. I'm telling you, this is the third rail. This is the third rail that gets people, in trouble. That's all I'm going to say. This is the subject, the issue that gets people in trouble. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's weird. She wore a costume. He didn't. That's weird. Why that costume? I think Nicole Shanahan rightly, whatever you think about her, correctly and rightly called it out. Calls it out for what it is. And on such a large public platform is kind of interesting, and we'll see what comes of this. Because when you call it out on a public platform, like weird stuff starts happening. Like seriously. Right? What's his name? Ben Swan. Ben Swan famously did a piece on Pizzagate, and then he disappeared. Like his social media was wiped. He was fired from the state. He worked at a news station in Atlanta, and he basically disappeared and then came back like a year later. They were really upset that he did a story on it, like a public story on the public airways, that he did a story about it. And you know what happens to people that Congress people that try to bring light to this, and it's a third rail. And I honestly think that is the real reason why Julian Assange spent so much time in Belmarsh. They didn't care about the you released videos of what we did. I mean, sure, they're mad about that. That's not what they were really mad about. What they were mad about was the Podesta emails. What they were really mad about was the emails, the DNC emails indicating, and this is where all the everything from that Pizzagate came from, was the Podesta emails and the Hillary Clinton emails that indicated that they were involved in this kind of stuff. They were pissed, right? That's what gets the retribution. That's what really pisses them off. So like, he didn't spend all that time in Belmarsh for releasing like military footage. No, it was those emails. It was those emails, and they were like, dude, now you're really playing with fire. It is weird. It is weird, wild stuff. We live in a very creepy world. So, not to be outdone by the Bidens. And we'll see where this goes too, because this is also breaking and big news. Breaking the October surprises here. The Daily Beast just dropped over 100 hours. Daily Beast. The Daily Beast. Just dropped over 100 hours of Jeffrey Epstein recordings where he talks about his relationship with Trump and spills inside info on the Trump White House. This is massive. Michael Wolff, who chronicled Trump's time in office, has released a recording of Epstein, who died. This is pretty huge. The Daily Beast is a right-wing outlet. Is it not? Anyways. In a 2017 recording, Epstein talks about Trump's tactics, pitting staff against each other, trash-talking people like Bannon, Priebus, and Conway behind closed doors. Here's the kicker. Wolff says he has over 100 hours of Epstein recordings on Trump ready to release. Wow. Trump's team is already screaming election interference. This is only the beginning of what's about to come out. I mean, this is less than a few days away, right, from... New revelations from a transcript of Michael Wolff and James Truman's podcast expose a twisted, toxic connection between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And this is so, if we're going to go to who is behind, right, Epstein, the theory is, the working theory is that Epstein talking about Trump directly. The working theory is that Epstein was a Mossad agent, and basically another arm of AIPAC, and basically blackmailed everyone. Blackmails all and every politician, especially the higher ups and the mucky mucks. So everyone, Clinton, right, all of them, the Bushes, the Clintons, the everyone's, Obama included, yes. Right, and Trump's in there too, and they do whatever they want them to do because they have the goods on them, right? So it's the working theory. So again, this is why it doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter whoever wins the election. It doesn't matter, because for right now, the winner is Larry Fink of BlackRock and Israel and AIPAC. That's the winner. So it doesn't really matter. I don't know how you push it up against those two entities, or push back, or change the course of history, what they want to do with history. I don't know how you do that. We'll see. Kathy Poliski says the owner of the pizza place is a Rothschild. Yeah. So, I mean, this is dang. And to further drive home this point, I'm almost done sharing stories, guys, and we'll talk about it a little bit. This episode of Black Bear News is probably more brain fallout than Black Bear News, but that's all right. Is what I want to talk about. It's from High Impact Flicks. I've talked with hundreds of Trump supporters in the last couple of weeks. Literally, when I asked them about Trump not firing Fauci, but rather commending him, right? He gave him a Medal of Honor or whatever. Promoting the clot shot, funding Operation Warp Speed, and pushing the mRNA gene-altering therapy. To this present day, none of them can defend it, with the exceptional he had to keep the country open. Yet they're voting for the father of the vax anyways. Does anyone, including the influencers with large audiences, want to step forward and explain how you can support a guy who signed off on the biggest, most criminal power and wealth transfer in the history of mankind? And there you go. That's basically what you're getting either way. Oh, here we go. I got to show this picture at least. That's actually the picture I should have used for the thumbnail, but I thought maybe I might run up against if I thought this video would actually keep playing somewhere, that would definitely have squashed it. But that's great. That's what you're voting for. It doesn't really matter. Not this election, anyways. Not the last several elections, and probably not the next elections after that. After that, was Willie Brown with Jeffrey Epstein? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, probably. Anyways, God, terrible things to see and to take in, like 5 days before the election, isn't it? It's November 1st today. Heartwarming, exactly. Just, yeah, this is I'm sorry to, I'm covering this because it's important, but God, it feels dirty and gross just to even talk about it. But this is reality, and this is the truth, and I'm sorry, it is very depressing. I'm sorry. It is very depressing. I mean, it's actually, I feel like I'm on the verge of tears thinking about this. stuff. It really sucks. It's very depressing. I'm gonna go do something just completely normal and hopefully a little more uplifting after this. But, Biden's missing from that photo. You're right. Creative experiments. That's true. Um, I'm sure, you know, I don't know about Kamala. Who knows what's going on with Kamala? But she seems to be just a willing robot, a willing empty vessel for whatever it is. She's hooked in, and there's no way out. The other, I guess, prevailing theory on these, the people in charge is that once they're compromised, they are literally robots, right? They're like, whoever they're compromised by or to, they're like, you're going to do this. You're going to do these things. You're going to run for president, even though you can't put two sentences together. You're going to be in charge of things, operations, or be the face of the operations. You're going to go do this because that's what we want you to do. Right. So once you're compromised and once you're hooked in, you don't have a choice. It's like getting out of the gang. There's no getting out of the gang. Right. You're going to do what they tell you to do, whether you want to or not. Right. There's no like, nah, man, I really can't do it this time. I gotta say no. There is no. Man, I heard a really great his dudeness. Now we see the violence inherent in the system. Did you see me? Did I see you being repressed? Yeah, I did. Because all of a sudden my view count, the views went down, the viewer count went down anyways. And they always, it's difficult for me not to take it personally, like, oh, you just don't want to watch this, or you don't like my presentation, or you don't like what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with me. I'm sure people are very interested, I wouldn't doubt Kathy Poliski that the owner of the pizza place is a Rothschild. I wouldn't doubt it. And I know all about the Pizzagate story. I know a lot of information about that. More than I have ever talked about on this channel. And I won't ever talk about it on this channel, probably because it's just, it's too much for people. You're just going on Osama's Monty Python quote. What's his Monty Python quote? Where is it? Is it way back? I don't know everything about that story though. Not, I'm not like the oracle, the end all be all know all, not at all. But I know a lot. So I can discuss and debate this. We could discuss and debate it maybe in Telegram too, if you want to. I can discuss and debate this, with a lot in my arsenal. Creative Experiment says, doesn't matter if you have gardens or take care of yourself, the empire will find you. Yeah, who knows? If we're all going to concentration camps, we're all going. You're not really going to say, you're not going to, if or biometric concentration camps. I mean, we're going to be there soon. You don't need to be in Gaza to be in a biometric concentration camp, right? If they tell you that you, if they tell you that you need, to scan your QR code or your ID to get on the freeway or get in your car or drive down the road or pay for your food or get on your social media or get into your phone or get on your you know what I mean? Like if they tell you that's what you're going to need, you're in a biometric concentration camp. It's already done. It's already a done deal. And that is not very far away. And that's actually the thing that the working theory is the reason why everybody's being pushed towards Trump, with many people either unwittingly supporting this push towards Trump or maybe, underhandedly, nefariously pushing this push towards Trump. The working theory is that everybody's being pushed towards Trump because he's being, all the people around him, his campaign and the people around him are all being hailed as like freedom, truth, right? Free speech, human rights, for all the things, right? All the things that the right is espousing at this moment that are actually left ideas, lefty ideas, right? It's switched. The Harris campaign doesn't even, it's like all they have to say is like, well, reproductive rights and and we're happy, we're going to be nice, nicer than Trump. But Trump, most people see that the truth and freedom movement, on the right is being the way to go. And what the working theory is that they're getting everybody to go in this direction so that they can scoop everybody up in a big net and go, ha, gotcha. Right. That Trump will be the one that actually institutes the, the omnipresent surveillance of, right, with Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Skynet, basically, right? Peter, like Elon Musk and Starlink / Skynet, the operating system, right? Is they're putting it all in place of like getting everybody in this biometric concentration camp, and that Trump will be the one to push that through, right? Ooh, you want to get weirder and feel like the vaccines were actually maybe nanobots being delivered, nanoparticles, and that the vaccines are already self-spreading so that the nanoparticles are everywhere, even if you didn't get the vaccine, and the nanoparticles can be activated by whatever, Skynet. It- Trump did that, right? And then he comes back for a second term, and and the net just closes in. Fun times, yeah. Good times. Woohoo. So, again, you're not going to vote yourself out of this by voting for Kamala. If you think that's what Trump is going to do, voting for Kamala is not going to get you out of this because it's going to be the same outcome. Either way, it's going to be the same. You're going to have to fight it in different ways. JMW says, I wish I could never hear these words again. Trump, Kamala, Biden, Obama, Reagan, immigrant, Musk, tax, money. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good list. Yeah. Well, let me see. I'm going to look back through some chats here and see if there's anything else here relevant. False flags happen. So what? My complete talk from the 4th annual False Flags and Conspiracies Conference with is this you, Obama? I mean, Osama. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you Obama. That's really just wrong on every level. Okay. Is this just Alex Baker or is this you? It's just Alex Baker. Is this just a good thing to watch? Is that what you're why you're posting? All right. I'll check it out. Thanks, man. So, all right, we've become aware of some very crazy things today. And with that, I'm gonna let you all enjoy your weekend. Yeah, and if you haven't already voted, I don't know. People are out here voting and doing things, and that's okay. You do whatever you think is aligns with what you got to do. That's all I got to tell you. You know, vote for whoever you want to vote for. Do whatever you want to do. Get a mask if you want. I mean, wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. Get a shot if you want to get a shot. I'm just trying to educate. There's lots of points of education and or information around all kinds of things that you could do or not do. Right. And I just urge you to get educated or be educated. Just be informed. Take in all the information that you can and make your decision based on, lots of data points, not just one or two. If you can make it 10 or 20, it's better. All right. Where can we listen to the Epstein tapes? Creative Experiments. Let's see. It looks like the Daily Beast. Am I wrong? Isn't the Daily Beast a right outlet, or is it a left outlet? I can't. I can't remember, man. I can't remember. It's been a while since I even visited the Daily Beast. I thought it was right, but maybe it's left. I don't know. I can't. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's neither. I forget. Anyways, apparently on the Daily Beast, that's where they're releasing this stuff. So go there. Does anybody know where the Daily Beast leans, or if they lean? Uh, Maybe it doesn't matter. You guys know? Ace is not Alex. Ace is now Alex. He got a law degree. Oh, this is Ace Baker? Okay. Oh, it's Ace Baker. All right. All right. But he's still out here talking about stuff. That's good. Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Oh, let me make sure I don't have anybody to thank as far as donations go. I should not fail in my task and duty and all that. If anybody contributed to the show today, I appreciate you. Otherwise, we'll have to hold it over. Man, I have so much to do. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know. Stay off social media if you're feeling bothered. I may avoid a little. I may spend the next couple of days just avoiding social media on some levels. It's hard though. I'm kind of a Twitter junkie, so I'm on. I like the Twitter a lot, but as far as like the Instagram and the Facebook and the people screaming about Trump and or Kamala, I just can't. After a while, I'm just like, oh my god, oh my freaking god, please be quiet. Oh, I could just close the app. It's completely within my control, right? That's called taking personal responsibility. The Daily Beast. Nonpartisan but not neutral. Okay. I for some reason I thought the Daily Beast was right, but I guess I'm wrong. We're gonna hit both sides when appropriate. Okay. I guess they're kind of in the middle, I guess. So I guess that's cool. I guess that's where the Epstein tapes are going to be released, but I'll bet you they're all over Twitter when they do get out. I'll bet you cash money. Anyways, enjoy your weekend, guys. I appreciate you. Go over to my YouTube channel at Kevin Sandbloom / Kevin Sandbloom. There's a new video up of a song called "Divide Us," and I'm just performing it. It's not like a recording. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. And peace out.